The Mechanic, The Secret World of the F1 Pit Lane, written and read by me, Marc Elvis Priestley. For Claire, Lexi, Leo, Rex and Ginger. Chapter 1. On the Clock. The British Grand Prix, Silverstone. Box, box, box! We heard the call across the team radio. There was a split second of freefall, 20 mechanics charging towards the pit lane dressed in fire suits, balaclavas, helmets and gloves, emerging from the garage at a pivotal moment. Nerves, fear, excitement and pride take over. The noise of the passionate British crowd and the overwhelming scream of passing engines threaten to distract focus. Burst of radio chatter between driver and team as one of the most tactical, choreographed and adrenaline-fueled procedures moves into action at the fastest show on Earth. The Formula One pit stop. Or as I lovingly called it for the best part of a decade, work. I'm in the pack somewhere, anonymous to the millions of people watching on TV, waiting for our car to appear at the end of the pit lane. I did many jobs in pit stops over the years, but on this day, I'm operating the right rear wheel gun to remove and refit the retaining nut, whilst my teammates swap the wheels and tyres for me. It's a well-orchestrated routine that should take no longer than a few seconds, with no fuel going in this time. A few seconds of technical, highly pressurised precision that takes place multiple times in every Grand Prix. But under high-pressure conditions with zero margin for error, this pause in the racing can often be the difference between winning and losing. I can see him now, Lewis Hamilton, McLaren's world champion waiting, arcing into view and bearing down on us at 100 kilometres an hour. Several hundred kilos of pointy, sharp Formula One car, moving in at speed as I kneel on a marked spot telling me exactly where he's supposed to land. I take a deep breath, fighting the urge to move back to a safer distance. Lewis's barely in control car moves in hot, missing me by centimetres and screeches to a stop. The timer starts. I track the rear wheel as he arrives, my gun landing on the nut before the car comes to a complete standstill, both a test of trust and nerve. If Lewis were to overshoot his pit box, I'd almost certainly get dragged along with him, but he's one of the best and stops exactly where I need him. The gun unlocks the nut, trying to wrench itself violently out of my hands in the process, and my job's halfway done before I can even register the sights, sounds and emotions smothering me. I always loved the danger of pit stops. They delivered the adrenaline rush I needed to operate at the best of my ability, but the risks were high too. A fuel accident might engulf the crew and driver in a mini inferno. The heat coming off the brakes, 1,000 degrees of glowing red carbon fibre, could burn instantly through my gloves and cook my skin. 1 second. The sensations quickly become intense. I lean back, switching the gun's direction of rotation as the rear wheel comes off. The new one goes on and I follow it in, pushing it on with the wheel gun. The acrid smell of burning rubber chokes my nostrils as small marbles from the old tyre become dislodged and melt instantly on the brake discs, smouldering and catching fire. 2 seconds. The nuts zip back on with another high-pitched and violent whine. Then the noise explodes around me. The mind-blowing yelp of a 19,000 RPM V8 engine flexing its muscles. Lewis is hard on the throttle now, the engine bouncing off its rev limiter, desperate to drop the clutch and get the car back into the race. I'm less than a metre away from the deafening scream and the vibrations. I can feel it hammering my bones, my teeth, my muscles, like I've jammed my head into the launch pad of a lifting NASA rocket. It's overwhelming, despite my moulded earplugs and helmet. Behind the tyre I can see thick smoke rising. The brakes are being licked by flames, but there's no time to do anything about it. The fire will go out as the car moves away and the airflow returns. Instinctively, everything tells you a blaze like that is bad. Yet I can do nothing but watch. 3 seconds to change the wheels and tyres meant success. 5 seconds was slow, and to hesitate was always to lose. 3 seconds. As with every other pit stop, I do my job, hoping that everything else has gone to plan. It didn't always work that way. The occasional practice pit stop sessions where we'd sent cars away with cross-threaded nuts or dropped the car off the jacks before the nuts were tight had taught me that mistakes sometimes happened. In those relaxed practice sessions, I'd think, shit, if that happened in an actual race, it'd be disastrous. Luckily, it rarely did, and trust, skill and nerve became the strengths that my teammates and I relied on throughout my career. I lean back, my arm instinctively raised in the air as the rear wheel shudders, clunking into gear, and the car drops hard onto the ground. My heart's racing and my sense...
Sample complete. Ready to continue?